Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for week 182 of Build Your Stash and Craft. Today we are just going to make some tissue paper and some collage tissue paper, but we're not actually gluing things together like a normal collage. We're going to collage together some stamps and some colors just to make a cool piece of tissue paper to use. I pulled out some of our sprays and our wax colors and our liquid wax colors, things that we just have in our stash that we've made in the past. And then I just cut a little piece of tissue paper. You can do this as large as you want, but I put a regular piece of paper behind it for two reasons. Number one, so that you can see it better as we're going, and because it still will be better than putting it on here. And number two, to catch anything that might soak through, and then we can use this paper for something later. So we're going to start out by stamping, and this has a shiny side and a non-shiny side. I'm going to stamp on the shiny side because I want to put the colors on the non-shiny side. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick out some of our Hampton Art stamps, and I should have grabbed my acrylic block, but I did not. Can I get this open? There we go. So we'll just see how this works without one. But we're just going to, I'm going to use the permanent ink because I believe everything that we have will not make that move. Whoops. Our Hampton, I think that might be Hampton Art ink that we got too, but that's kind of water-based, so I think that that will move with all of these colors. And I'm stamping on one side and coloring on the other to hopefully not move the ink. Now I got a few little things there on the edge. That's okay with me because this is going to be just kind of like a collage, so it's just going to be just kind of all mixed up with mixed up colors and just something that we can use later in a collage. If it turns out beautiful, we could use it on a canvas even. And then what I'm going to do, because I have those little bits there, I'm going to just, it's where I touched it with this top edge. So I'm just going to kind of put a few more of those on there. Just very random. And I really just want that top edge. I don't really want all the extras. Can I give myself a little bit of a stopping point? There we go. So see, we are soaking through, and so that's why I put the paper underneath of there. So then we've got another butterfly one that came in that same set. So we'll put this one on here too. This time hold it up off the tissue paper so that it doesn't make an extra mark. And put that one right there. And of course I wouldn't be getting the black all over myself had I brought the acrylic block. There we go. And then I think I'm going to put this one again down in this corner. Maybe I'll do it sideways. Like this. I like that. And then let's see, we've got a few words here. We've got beautiful. Try and put it up here and see if it shows up. It does. Put one down here. Let's see what else, what other words do we have? We have Dream. Just kind of want them a little bit on there randomly. Then we have a butterfly. I like that above the words, so I'm going to put one above every word. Now, I haven't tried this yet. Oh, this one we'll put below the word. So we will actually just see how this works. I'm not sure how well it's going to work, whether for sure it's going to if it's going to smear when we put our colors on it or not. There's Laugh. And here's Live, I think. Oh, nope, it's Love. And here is Live. And then, let's see what else we have here. A little flower. Just to kind of fill in some of the blank spots. And we are seeing bits from behind, but I'll go ahead and put a clean piece of paper on here so that you can see it without, I'm not sure how well that's showing up for you or not, but I'm seeing all of this stamping here on the back. So there we go. So now we have it all stamped, and again we stamped with StazOn, so that's a permanent ink, and we'll put that aside. And then we're going to flip this paper over, and some of this is still got some quite wet spots because we I stamped it pretty heavy on there, and we stamped it on the shiny side, so the shiny side always takes a little bit longer to dry. And we obviously, you could dry this, maybe I should just heat set it really quick with our heat gun that we got. I'm going to unplug the light for a second. And just give this a quick heat dry, because we better close up our StazOn so it doesn't dry up. That would be bad. And I store my StazOn upside down. I store all of my inks upside down. Because heat setting something also really kind of sets it. It doesn't just dry it. And so that might help it so that it does not smear. I don't know, we're going to find out. Okay, that's probably pretty good. Looks like it's a little wet right there. Okay, that's good enough. Plug our light back in. Here we go. And so this is what we have so far. All right, so first we'll start with our wax colors. Now what we want to do is I want to flip this over so that we're actually putting our inks on this side. When we turn it over the other way, we'll see the colors through the paper. But let's just grab some of these. I'll try and remember to put the links to when we made these different things down below in case you want to know. But this is our color wax. I don't remember what I actually called it in the video when we made it. I should maybe put some over here. I got pink on there from something. I don't know exactly what. Oh well. That's not going to hurt a thing because there's no special way to do this. Excuse me. So we'll use a little bit of our pink and put it right on there. Maybe put some over here. Highlight that word just a little bit. Okay, if you can hear that in the background, I do apologize. That's Papa keeping himself busy. Because I do my videos, I make my videos on Tuesday. So on Tuesday he comes for breakfast. And then he goes home and has lunch at his house. Which, his house is just part of our house, but... and then he comes back for supper. But he has snack time and lunch time at his house. But shredding papers gives him something to do. Okay, so what shall we do next? Let's do maybe yellow. I hope that that's not too loud in the background. It's pretty loud here. But I don't want to stop the video and go shut the door. I usually do shut the door. I used to shut the door all the time whenever I made a video on Tuesdays because his TV was so loud that we could hear it over here. But he got new hearing aids and he doesn't have his TV as loud anymore, so now I forget to shut the door when I'm in the middle of a video. And the only thing that we can hear over here then is the paper shredder. So there we go. And shall we just use these 3 colors? Maybe so. I think 3 colors is enough. And then we'll do one more real quickly, and we'll use the liquid wax colors and see what they do, because this is doing a good job. It's not making the permanent ink run or move or smear. We need a little more color up here. And these colors, you can put them right on top of each other, blend them together. Not a big deal. They don't blend really well. When you put one on top of the other, it just goes on top of the other. It doesn't make the other one move back or the colors mix or anything like that. And a little bit more yellow up here, and then we'll flip it over and we will see what we have. With the wax colors, when you're all done with them, then you go ahead and just buff it with a paper towel, a dry paper towel or a dry napkin or Kleenex. All right, let's get a... Ooh, did I only bring out 1 sheet of paper? No, I have to have more than that. Well, at least he's keeping busy. And there we go. So now we have our own stamped colored tissue paper. I think it looks pretty cool. You can do it where you color each butterfly separately. You know, you can do it like this where it's all just kind of mixed together. This is a little dark for me, so I'm going to see if I can lighten it up a little bit. Maybe if I try and put a little yellow with it. Not sure if that will make a difference. I think that I just got it real heavy on there. Yeah, that's where I had touched it. And so that soaked in before I spread it around, and it made that really dark color. But I still think that this turned out really nice. I like that. And then what I can do is I can just, this is the top side, the wax is on the other side. So I'm wondering if by doing this, if it'll put some of that color on my paper, because I'm going to wipe that color off anyways. So if some of it will come off on my paper, then that's a bonus instead of just wiping it off on a paper towel and throwing the paper towel away. And it's not making the stays-on come off. Not a lot, but it gives us some color. So I'm just going to turn that over. Oh. Grab a piece of paper towel. And just kind of wipe it off so that it's not all greasy. Oops. And there we go. We now have one collaged piece of tissue paper that we made ourselves, and I think that that turned out really cool. The cool thing about it is that's your collage paper. Now, I've seen these at the store. They have all these different, the one that I see the most is, I think, like Stamperia or something like that. I think that's what it is. And they have beautiful papers. Very, like, mixed, images and everything with different colors, and they're very pretty. But this way you've got them. They didn't cost you as much as those, because those that I've seen are not super cheap. And oops, I put the orange on top of the pink and pink on top of the orange. That's all right. This is my little box that I made so that it holds my, just remember, when you need storage, just kind of stop and think. This is a graham cracker box. I have lots of these because Papa likes graham crackers. But, you know, just stop and think about what it is that what you're doing, and, you know, what you'll need to hold it. This one actually should fit out here, and that fits there. But there we go. Now they're kind of fit in there. But yeah, you can always make your own kind of storage, and this takes up really small space, and I've got everything together. So just kind of think about, what do you want to store, and, you know, what is something you have that you might be able to store it with. Okay, so we'll do one more really quick, because I want to try the liquid. I want to try the sprays, although I'm not going to spray the sprays, I'm going to paint them on. And I want to try the liquid wax also. And I think I brought my homemade, yeah. Let's see if we have any homemade stamps that we could use. I do like this one. I really want, got them upside down. Let's see, let's use this one. Oh, I like those two leaves too. Let's use that one. And those two, I don't, well, yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to use this one because it's so big. And, oops, this goes over here. Put my stamps on one side and a stamped piece on the other so that I can see what it's going to look like when I stamp it. Yeah, which mask do I want? I think I want this one. Where's my other one? That's the one I really want. Our paper's not super big, so we do kind of have to. I want this one because this is my absolute favorite mask. And I want this heart. So this is the mask that we chose, and this is the heart that we chose. We're going to, again, do it in black, though. You can do it in other colors. You know, you can try it in other colors and see what it works like. But like I said, I do know that the Hampton Arts that I have, I believe that's what we have for our colored ink. Anyways, the colored ink that we have, I do know it's water soluble. It moves when you put something on it. So I want to do something that's not going to move. So first, and I'm not going to necessarily, these don't have to be perfect. You know, if they have like light spots here or there and dark spots here and there, I don't mind that. And oh, look at that. I did not put a handle on the back of this one, which makes it much harder to use. We'll just have to deal with it. I think I'll just put the stamp off right up on there too. That looks cool. Let's get the little one of the little ones, which also does not have a handle on it. I'll tell you what, those little handles make a big difference. I'm going to put this one. If I had different colors, I'm going to try it here anyways. This would be better if this was a different color than those two. So if you have an ink that's not water soluble to use with these, like if you have other colors of stays on, it'd be fun to do it in different colors. I'm gonna put one more stamp off right down here in the corner. Yep, why not? Because that looks good. Let's see about doing this one down there too. I don't know if it still has ink on it or not. We'll find out. Not much, but that's okay. Now what did I do with my mask? The mask I really, really wanted. Okay, come on now. That was the whole reason I brought up my stamps, was because I wanted to use that mask. Did I leave it in here? Yep, I sure did. I love this one. I love making my own foam stamps. It's very fun. And now when I'm done with this piece will be 100% mine. You know, I made this mask. It's not, you know, it's not store-bought. Let's say, which I don't, but, you know, but let's say I did want to sell this as a collage piece, like sell copies or whatever. I for sure could, because these are my stamps. You know, I'm not using anything that has some kind of copyright on it or anything like that. So I could do with it whatever I want to do. I could submit it if I wanted to submit it for, you know, some kind of art submission, you know, and then you have to tell them where you got everything. And with these, you would just say, well, I just got it out of my file folder of stamps that I created myself. And let's try this little guy also does not have a handle on it. We still need to fill in some over in this area. And what do we want to do that with? Yeah, I wish I had that we had different color stays on in our stash, because we could try this with different colors and that would be pretty cool. I'll tell you, this kind of a stamp you can't really line up because you can't see anything, but I'm going to try and put it back on there anyways. Not bad. Oops. Wow, this stamp pad is very juicy. I might have put a little bit of rubbing alcohol on it, so I don't remember it being that wet. So there we go. That's very busy, but I am happy with the way it looks. And I'm going to flip this over. So this is what we have so far. I like it. And now, what do we want to do first? I want to do eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Let's do some wax colors. These are our liquid wax colors that we made with some floor wax. And let's grab an older paintbrush. Let's see, did I flip this over? No, I did not. Definitely want to flip it over because I think this could possibly... I didn't heat set it, did I? I should also heat set it. I think that's a good idea. Here goes a light. A lot of times things that are permanent, if you heat set them, they're more permanent. You know, you'll find when you buy different kits or whatever, like if you're putting some kind of decal on a t-shirt or something, it will tell you that it's, you know, it's permanent, but it will tell you you need to iron it with an iron before it's actually permanent. So we'll just do this. There we go. And then we'll know it should be pretty well set. Alrighty, I've got some pink, some green, and some purple. And I don't remember how these colors mix. So we'll find out. Some of them had mica powder in them. That's why I'm shaking them, but also you should shake any colors that you're using. These seal really well. We made these a long time ago, and they're still very liquidy. My hands are going to be really awful. But, oh wow. Okay, I'll start out with the lightest color because I'm going to use the same brush. And I just have an old brush here so that I don't ruin it. And that color is not turning up real well. But it does give you the wax shine. Doesn't seem to be smearing. And I'm going outside the leaves because we want to cover the whole paper with color. And we just kind of want it to be like a little bit, it doesn't have to be totally random, but we want it a little bit random so everything gets, the whole paper gets covered. Okay, I'm just gonna wipe that off on my paper towel and go with some pink next. That shows up much better. Go all the way out to the edge of the paper. And cover the whole thing. So I do like the way that these work. Just kind of go over the edge and see what happens. Kind of fan it out a little bit maybe, so it's not such a solid line. Yeah, maybe I should have done that a little bit as I started. I want to see what the green looks like on the other side to see if I want to use it again or not. Grab a regular piece of paper so we can see. And there we go. The green is really not showing up, so I'm not going to bother using that anymore because I want something that shows up better. So, and that's okay because we've also got, I want to try our sprays. So we will just, our purple and our pink are very close to the same color. So what I'm going to do next, you don't scrub too hard. This is quite a hard brush, and I very possibly could easily put a hole. Now these definitely have mica powders in them, so they have to be shaken. And grab a brush for this. I don't know if you can see this or not. I love the way that mica powders look. Can you see that? When they float around in your colors. Whoops. Now you could spray. Well, that's not very good. That goes with that. But I wanted to get it more kind of like blended together a little bit. I wanted it where I wanted it. So I'm painting it on. And no matter what kind of colors you have, you know, whether they're your own handmade or store-bought, you know, don't forget that you can use a paintbrush with them. I think I'm going to put some on top of these leaves since they're really not showing up very well anyways. And then we'll be very close to being done with this. And for next week, I was able to go to the dollar store a couple days ago. And so I picked up some stuff for us to be able to do new things. But if you are still locked in, just try and, you know, find something that you have at home that will work instead of going out when you shouldn't. That's the whole reason that I stopped this, and, you know, I stopped buying things was because we weren't supposed to go out, and I really didn't want to encourage anyone to be going out when they weren't supposed to. So our state is just unlocking, and we live in Michigan, so we had it pretty bad. But I didn't live in the area where they had it pretty bad, thank goodness. So I did not go out. I went out once a month, did the grocery shopping for a whole month, went out safely, and got home as quick as I could. And I was going to leave this because I have to put it back together, but I'm not going to leave it because if I do, I will spill it for sure. There we go. So I will show you when we're done here what this looks like, and then I will let you know. When you shake anything with mica in it, always don't shake it up and down. Swirl it, especially when it's caked on the bottom. Then you can give it a shake if you want to after you get it mixed together. But the stuff that's on the bottom is really hard. And, or solid, I should say. So you don't want that getting up into your tube, or it will make it so it doesn't spray anymore. I have a few of them that don't work right now. But if that happens, just unscrew that top part, put it in warm water, even with your store-bought ones. Set it in a cup of warm water or a sink of warm water and let it sit for about 10-15 minutes, and then you should find that it, unless it's broken, it should break up and work again. So, but, and I don't know if I interrupted myself or not. I think I was saying that if you can't get out, just don't get out. part of the fun part, when you don't have the stuff to craft with, part of the fun part is trying to figure out what you do have to craft with that that you can use. So just make it a challenge for yourself to find something fun. And if you have like a bunch of something, let's say you have a bunch of fun foam, go into YouTube and put in fun foam crafts, and you will find lots of people showing you different things you can do with fun foam. So if you have something and you don't know what to do with it, then just, I would say Google it, but YouTube it. That's what I think I'm trying to say. Alrighty, so let's take this, put this down. Now the wax is very sticky, so you definitely going to want to remove it as soon as you're done so that you don't rip it. It looks to me like, let's see here, the purple was our sprays. We might have rubbing alcohol in our sprays, I don't remember. Because it looks like, whoops, and that ripped, but that's totally okay. And there we go. This is what the other side looks like. And I like it. I think it looks pretty cool. I think I might put a little bit of pink right there and set it on some parchment so that it doesn't glue itself down. Let's see, where did I want the pink? Right in here. There we go. So that is our liquid wax and our sprays and our homemade stamps, and they turned out cool too. So I really like the way that these look. I will be back in just a second to show you what we're going to need for next week. Okay, I'm back, and here's what our papers look like. I dried them with the heat gun, and the mica powder on the back shows up, but doesn't really, it just shows up as color through the front. You really don't see the mica on the other side of the tissue paper. So that's something to think about if you're wanting the mica, which side is going to be your front and your back. To me, the front is the side that I stamped on, and the back is the side that I put the color on. That's just like, to me. Plus, like with words, you have to have it that way. Whatever side you stamped on is going to be your front. But you could put some mica powders on top of, on top of that, so long as, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, these may have rubbing alcohol in them. And if they do, they will smear the stays on. So, but I think that they turned out great. The ones with the wax pastes, that one came out really, really smooth. And the side that we put the color on is very dry to the touch. The side that was shiny still feels shiny. It feels like really smooth, shiny, but that's not from the wax because the wax is on the other side, and that is very dry. So, because I have a lot of people say, well, can I do anything with that once because it's wax? You have to buff it off when you're done, and you have to let it dry or dry it with your heat gun. But yes, it does dry to where you can use it, in your projects. You can glue it down. So, but I love the way they turned out, and I love the fact that these ones turn out very flat because that may work really well for certain projects. And then I like that this one turns out kind of crunchy and wrinkly because that may work out, better for some other projects. So I think these turned out great, and I think that, if you want a project to do, I think that this is a really fun one to play with. Since we had all of this in our stash, it's a win-win situation. For next week, we are going to need, from the Dollar Tree, a book, any book. You probably don't want it a whole lot bigger than this. And then we are going to need some double-sided tape. And the book is what we really need. And so if you can't even get out, all you need is a book. If you have a book at home that you can use, that's all you need. But because we haven't spent money in a really long time, at least I haven't, I wanted to spend my whole $5. So I got some double-sided tape, plus our Dollar Tree had some really cool stuff in it. So I got some double-sided tape, and I got some pretty stickers, and I got some rub-ons, and I got some bling jewelry border stickers, so which you could cut these up too. So and I kind of got these things, even though I just bought them, because I got them to look nice together. So these things will all go together. We're going to use these to decorate our book. And the double-sided tape, we may or may not even use this. I just got it because I hadn't seen it there before, and I thought it would be something great to have in our stash. So that's what we're going to get. So we have $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 at the Dollar Tree for next week. If you actually add up, if we haven't spent our money during the whole lockdown, we should have $110.50 in our stash. And this week we're going to spend our whole $5, so we won't be putting any more in there. So that leaves $110.50 in our stash. Now, I think that we're not going to probably use that as to buy something big, because a lot of people probably during the pandemic couldn't save $5 a week, even though they couldn't go out and spend it. So I think what I'll do is go back to whatever the dollar amount was when all of this started and we had to get locked down at home. And, a lot of us lost our incomes. So we'll go back to whatever that beginning amount was and start adding up from there. But I just thought it was fun to say we've saved over $100. So this is what we're going to need for next week. Again, most important thing, you really only need a book. And thank you very much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. I like how these turned out. And I hope that if you do this, that you have fun doing it. Thanks again for stopping by. I really do appreciate you all. And I hope that you have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.